This is the unboxing of the E010, the H36, or the F36. They are all around $15. Sometimes you can find them on sale for cheaper than that. For instance, this was on sale for under $10 a few months ago. All come with a charger and a prop protectors, or props. They're all three look alike. They're all ducted. They all have ducted fans. The E010 and the H36 are identical. The way that I think JJRC just builds the same model in their factories that E010 Ishin builds. The only difference between the two are the JJRC, the battery is a little bit lighter. The F36 is completely different. It's lighter, which is great for something like this, 20 grams. When you can tack off a half a gram or even a gram, it really helps. The motors on this are stronger than on the E010 and the F36. They're all 65 millimeters from motor to motor. They all use a 150 milliamp battery, and they're all the same size. These two I whooped. What I mean by whooped is I added a camera to them. I soldered in a camera to the power terminals, and they call that whooped. So these are whooped. Now, Banggood sells an E010C, which is the same thing as this, that has a camera built in. It's already pre-wired. You don't have to worry about soldering or anything. It's $36, I think, for the C version. Like I mentioned, the F36 is designed better. The struts that hold the ducts are angled, and what that looks like it does is it doesn't affect the airflow as greater as the E010 or the H36. The disadvantage to this one is that it's not deviated, so you can't fly it with a devo 7 or devo 10. Hopefully eventually they get around to doing this, but I'm not sure if they ever will. The weight on these the E010 16.8. Let me take the camera off of the H36, because they all have the same basic type of mods, so they all have the same, as far as mods go, the same weight. The H36 is 16.2, and the F36 15.3. So this is actually almost a gram lighter than these. That's a real big difference when it comes to something that size. A gram is a lot. Because these motors aren't as powerful as the F36, what I had to do was cut these props down to two blades in the props instead of 4 blades. The 4 blade is okay for power, but for thrust, these 2 blades are much better. You'll see a big difference if you cut some of your props down to 2 blades. These things are so great, when you put a camera on them and whoop them, they become really a lot of fun. I can take this little guy and fly it to every little nook and cranny of the house that I have. It's really a whole lot of fun. The transmitters are just about the same. The F36 is a little bit bigger, than the ones that comes with the E010 and the H36. Let's get to some indoor footage and maybe some DVR footage. This is some flight footage of the H36. We bind it. Bound. Let me adjust my hat cam. Cutting those props give it a lot more lifting power. You can lift that camera with no problem. See, I'm flying it with the camera even though I'm not doing FPV. I want to give you guys an example of what it will fly like with the camera. Cutting the props, I normally fly this with 260 milliamp batteries because with the 150s that they have, you only get about 2 minutes of FPV time and then the batteries get low. With the 260 you get about 4 minutes of flight time before the battery indicator gets low. The H36 has the lights in the right area. It has the blue in the front and the red in the back. The F36, for some reason, they did it backwards. Let's get on to the F36 and I'll show you a little bit of flight footage of that. This is the flight footage of the F36. Adjust my hat cam. Turn on the transmitter. Bind it. Bound. Fly it. Thing has a lot more power than the H36 or the E010. Has a faster yaw rate too. The only thing that they did wrong to the quad itself is they put the LEDs in the backwards position. They put the red in the front and the blue in the back. I am putting a camera on this to simulate what it would do in FPV. Now this camera is almost 2 grams heavier than the camera that I had on the H36. The H36 and the E010, you need to fly them with those super light 3 gram cameras. This you can fly with a 5 or 6 gram camera with no problem. Let's get on to some DVR footage. These are the mods and final verdict for the Furry Bee F36, the JJRC H36, and the Yixing E010. Some of the mods that I've done is I had to cut the props on the H36 and the E010 to give it more power, to give it more lift. It's fairly easy to do, just need to sand them down after you cut them. Something else that I did is I cut the battery bay, and I'll show it to you. Banggood sells these 260 milliamp batteries, and what you can do is you can put them in here. They fit real clean, fit nice and snug. Center them up and put a low-C connector on it, and you can fly it with these 260s, and you'll get about an extra minute or two of flight time with these. Add the low-C connector. I like to paint them so I know the polarity is correct. I added a camera connector. Add a rubber band to support your camera. I wouldn't mount it because when you mount it you tend to break the antenna off when you get into a heavy crash. My final verdict. The E010 gets an 8.8. It needs faster motors. It will work, but it needs faster motors. Something else that I do is I put a piece of tape here in the front just so that the blue light doesn't shine through the FPV camera. This is an 8.8. And the reason why I give it an 8.8, it needs faster motors. I give this one, the H36, a 9.0 because it's just like the E010, but it has a lighter battery, which means you'll get more lift and a longer flight time out of it. So it gets a 9.0. My winner is the F36. It gets 9.3. The reason why I gave it 9.3 is it's a better design, has better motors, more powerful. The disadvantages are it's not devo. You cannot fly it with a devo 7 or devo 10. It's not deviated. It had a twitchy controller. The throttle was very twitchy. But once I put a camera on it, the added weight made the throttle slower, so it wasn't as twitchy. So maybe that twitchiness was just me getting used to it and it having faster motors. The LEDs are backwards on this. For some reason, they put the blue in the back and the red in the front, and it just, for orientation, you get used to it, but I just wish they would have done it correctly from the get-go. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section, and thanks for watching.